Hello, everybody, and welcome back to FedTalk. My name is Alex Wellings, and we are here today talking with Mr. Mike Fields, one of the most tenured advisors over at DFS, Dillard Financial Solutions. He's going to talk to us a little bit about how he came up and how he never expected to be in the insurance business at this point or working in the retirement planning world at this point in his life, but how he was so inspired by the work that Steve and Teresa had done with him over the years that he felt he needed to start a second career in helping federal employees navigate the retirement waters a little better. So today, we're going to be talking with him, learning a little bit about his career as a federal employee and a lot of bit about his experience helping folks like yourself bridge that gap into a healthy retirement. Without further ado, my conversation with Mr. Mike Fields. All right, Mike, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for being here, taking some time out. We're going to talk a little bit about, obviously, your storied career in the Fed space as a supervisor for the Postal Service, right?
That's correct.
And then talk a little bit about what you're doing now with Dillard Financial Solutions. So Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We're in studio, which is nice in the COVID times. You made the trek, man. Thanks for being here.
And you're talking about Tampa, Florida. What do you expect?
You got to get down here.
Yeah.
You got to get down here. All right. So how'd you find your way into Dillard Financial Solutions, selling retirement dreams to folks? How did you get there being a postal supervisor for the last, for the better part of, 3 decades?
Yeah. It's funny how it all started.
Yeah.
If you had told me 12, 15 years ago that I would be doing what I'm doing today, I'd tell you you're crazy.
Yeah.
I was what you call a career postal person.
Yeah.
But I'm the type of person, I like numbers.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was pretty smart when it came to TSP and allocations and things of that nature.
Yep.
2008 hit and let me know that I wasn't as smart as I thought I was.
A lot of people.
I had lost a ton of money.
Yep.
A ton of money in my TSP. And I was 49 at the time.
Okay.
And I told myself I would never put my retirement money in that position again.
Just no risk anymore. Done.
Just so happened, a few months later,
Yeah.
at a NAPS convention, National Association of Postal Supervisors convention in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina,
Yep.
we had a speaker there by the name of Stephen Dillard. First time he'd ever come to the Postal Service. And he started talking about smarter retirement planning, guaranteed, no loss of your premium, guaranteed income, things that just sounded too good to be true.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I just lost a ton of money in my TSP, so it sounded too good not to at least look into.
Yeah.
So I became a client. I borrowed from my remainder TSP that I lost, and I invested in one of the products that he recommended.
Man.
And everything he said would happen, happened. And I got excited. I said, Steve, I want to come on board.
Yeah.
I want to be able to spread this word to my fellow employees about the alternatives, because as a postal employee, we got no training when it came to our benefits. And that was in 2009, 2010. Mm-hmm. I started doing it part-time, because
Sure.
I was working.
Still working.
Oh, yeah.
Full-time.
Full-time. And as a manager, your 8-hour days are actually 10-hour days.
Yeah,
You don't work weekends, everything, So I did it part-time, and then they offered a early out for supervisors.
Hey, all right.
In 2014.
How long had you been in the government?
32 years when I retired. 32
years.
I was 54 and a half when I retired.
Oh, all right.
54 and a half.
Definitely one of the younger I've ever seen retire.
And believe me, it took a lot for me to make that decision.
Sure.
I had to sit down, talk to my wife, and see.
Yeah.
I talked to Teresa and Steve, and I said, look, I'm taking a big leap here.
Yeah.
And they told me, it'll work for you. You just got to have faith.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it full time ever since.
It was that passion to want to help your fellow Fed employee, right?
Definitely.
There's just so many out there that just don't have a clue. They're just not getting any information, right? Especially, you get good information the day you retire, your orientation, and you get signed up on these benefits, and nobody talks to you about it for the next 20 years.
That's exactly right.
What happens is folks out there forget what they have. and then, luckily you were part of an organization like NAPS that got together with Steve and Teresa and put them up on a stage to talk and educate the folks. That's fantastic that you came away with some education, and it sounds like it impassioned you.
Oh, it really is. I tell people all the time, I'm retired.
Yeah.
I get a nice postal pension.
Sure.
I don't need to do this business.
Yeah.
But I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. I know a lot of my clients, they say, boy, you can see your passion, because I get excited when I start talking to people about these
Sure.
products. My voice gets louder.
Yeah.
It gets higher.
Mm-hmm.
They could tell that I have passion. But that's why I love to do one-on-ones. COVID really put a damper on me until Zoom came out. And I said, okay, I'll just do Zoom.
Yeah.
Because I want people to see my passion.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, without it, I would be, skeptical, especially somebody calling me out of the blue. So I'm glad you're doing the Zooms. You got to get that physical, that body, that belly to belly feel, that somebody's got some knowledge, and obviously you've got a ton of experience. So as a postal employee, explain maybe a little bit, what was the retirement world process like for you when you left? I mean, were you just completely clueless? I mean, obviously you had the presentation with Steve years prior, right? Right. But then you continued to work and work part-time with DFS.
Well, right. For myself, it was a simple retirement. It's easy, because I was doing the business.
Okay.
But when you talk about the process of retiring, you call in and they send you a little blue book, about 70 pages thick, and only about 9 pages really matter.
Okay.
So you have to know how to fill that out.
Mm-hmm.
So just to sit down and explain to a person retiring, listen, don't let this book intimidate you.
That would intimidate the heck out of me.
Sure.
70 pages.
Surely. And but if you read the tabs, it'll say required information, and then all the other tabs say optional.
What's in the optional pages?
All references to forms and things of that nature.
I gotcha. Okay.
That you really don't need.
Yeah.
But
so it's a smooth process.
It really is a smooth process once you understand. Once you realize that it's not as intimidating as it appears, it's a smooth process.
But you wouldn't know that if you weren't sitting down with somebody,
Then some people are taking advantage of postal employees because they know that it's intimidating.
Like how?
They're charging them $400 or $500 to help them with their retirement paperwork. Here at Diller Financial Solutions, we don't charge a penny.
Yeah. Powerful.
That's all complimentary. You know? Even if you don't do any business with us, we sit down because it's important for you to know and be educated about your retirement plan.
Well, I know the stance of DFS has long been to help first, and then obviously do what's right for the federal employee. And if that means doing business together, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine.
That's exactly right.
But it's certainly not in the business of overcharging people to fill out paperwork they're going to have to fill out anyway.
And what they don't realize is the shared services department of the Postal Service, if have to, they will go through it step by step too. Now they're limited to what they know.
Right.
But they can still help you with the process, because that's what they learn. They learn the process of retirement.
Sure.
But it's unbelievable.
What other headaches have you had? What do you see most commonly with federal employees or postal employees? We can be specific or non-specific. What are the headaches of retiring for them? I mean, what are the mistakes they make?
Well, a lot of people, I don't know. Well, I do have a lot of federal clients. I would say the majority of my clients are postal because I relate better with them.
Yeah, of course.
But the issue is where am I going to place my TSP?
Yeah.
A lot of them have already made the move before coming to me.
Really?
I've had of clients, one particular client who said, well, I moved my money to Edward Jones and I don't like what it's doing.
Yeah.
Can I move it now? And they've already made the mistake. Yeah, you can move it, but it wouldn't be worth it because of the surrender charges that you have attached to it.
Sure.
But I've had clients who've come to me right at the nick of time. I was just talking to one of my fellow cohorts about a client. She became a client. I was at a convention. She didn't know that I did what I did.
Okay.
Until she was at the convention because I did a class there.
Okay.
she just so happened to be having a financial guy come to her the following Saturday to move money.
Okay.
And I asked her, I said, well, is he federally certified? And she says, I don't think so. He's from this finance company. She said, but I want you to do me a favor. I said, what is that? She said, I want you to come as my cousin.
Yeah.
I want you to dress down. Just come in and I said, I'll be glad to. I came, I had my shorts on. And
You did not.
Shirt. I surely did.
Oh, man.
And I just sat back and listened to him.
Yeah.
And I knew from the beginning he didn't know what he was doing because he hadn't even known that she had a pension coming to her.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, because most people, pensions are a thing of the past.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
The federal government is one of the few agencies that have
What
pensions.
an oversight, man.
So how can you plan somebody's retirement if you don't even know they have a pension?
Yeah, I mean, like, how are you possibly going to help them plan distributions
Exactly.
Without all the pieces?
Exactly.
It's like being a doctor and prescribing drugs that and you don't know their medical history whatsoever.
So needless to say, once he left, she said, I'll get back to you. And I signed her up as a client that day.
Wow.
But those are the things, you know, people need to invest in the education of their benefits.
Sure.
And if you don't, you can really hurt yourself in the long run.
Well, and that's something that all federal employees that are watching right now really need to take note of. If you are not working with somebody, or if maybe you are working with somebody, you owe it to yourself to make sure that they have the proper certifications, proper knowledge base to be helping you as a federal employee with your particular situations. Now that means that they usually have some sort of designation, some sort of credential next to their name that allows them to, or has indicated that they are educated in this space. Now that might be the FRC, like all those over at Dillard Financial Group are, which stands for Federal Retirement Consultant, which means they've gone through a 300 and some odd module course all about the federal retirement system. So they know all the nuances of your retirement plan and what to expect, what not to expect, you know, what gaps do we need to fill? Like, you know, a lot of folks out there don't realize that when they retire, they might go 3 to 6 months without any sort of pension check, and they're going to be relying on basically their own dime until that hits. Now it'll be made up, but you know.
That exit check. That's
that
right.
Exit check.
That termination check, boy, is important. And people need to know that, you know, they buy back your annual leave.
Right. So you're going to get that check.
Yeah. So you
got to make it last.
You need to start preparing. If you're going to prepare for retirement, know that, save that annual leave.
Yes.
Because that's going to be your bridge.
We were just talking with one of your colleagues, Carl Walton, and he was saying that his wife, when she retired, needed kept telling him that she couldn't go on this trip or couldn't go on that trip because she was trying to save up that annual leave. Right. Because she knew she was going to have a gap.
Exactly.
Spending my gap money, I think he said something like that.
Right.
Can't be spending my gap money.
Right. And it's very important because there is a gap. There's going to be a gap. And it all depends on when you retire.
Yeah. There's good times and bad times.
Right before I retired, there was a backlog of retirement. I mean, OPM was just drenched. It was taking people 6, 7, 8 months before they got their check. Yeah. You know, with me, it went within 3 months. I had my regular retirement check.
There's even places online I've seen before, and we can probably pop this up on the screen here so folks over watching can see it. But they'll show you exactly what historically the best months are to retire based on, you know, backlogs. And of course, there's going to be, you know, your summer months might be a little backlog in the beginning, but late in summer maybe not so much. And again, when did you retire? In summer or
January 31st.
I was going to say the next big one's right there around that new year where people are breaking into the new year and say, I'm done. I'm over.
Exactly.
Christmas break. I don't want to go back to work.
It's funny you said because and you have to know your benefits as far as when you can retire. What's the most beneficial year to retire?
Yeah, for sure.
I've had issues where a brother-in-law.
Okay.
61 and a half.
Okay.
You know, here he comes to me in March and says, Mike, I don't want to retire. I mean, I'm ready to retire. I'm tired of those trucks. I don't want another summer. Yeah. And I said, Tone, you got 41 years 40. Actually, he had 26 years, but he had 15 military. So he's getting 41%. I said, so you're well over. If you wait until 62, you're going to get a raise for your retirement.
And the pension. You're going to get the 10% increase.
And he said, I said, I'm going to run some numbers for you. And by the time I finished running those numbers, he said, I'm not going to spend another Christmas.
So he wasn't going to do another summer.
Now he's not going to
do another Christmas.
He's going to wait for that 62 because it makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Leaving a lot of money on the table.
And
Why not?
That's where knowing your benefits comes into play.
Well, you're not going to, you could scour the internet, folks, and continue to look and peer through and talk to your friends over at the water cooler and try and come to some conclusion about when the best time is. Or you could cut to the front of the line and talk with somebody at an FRC, a federal retirement consultant like Mike and the folks over at Dillard Financial Solutions, and they'll get you those answers quick. Well, Mike, anything else that we need to know about you and your help to federal employees out there?
Well, I'm a firm believer that your reputation is all you have.
Yeah.
Sure. So as an FRC, as a member of the ethics board, my word is my bond. So I'm going to make sure that I put all my clients in the right possible position. Right
product, eliminate or try to eliminate as much risk as possible.
Exactly right.
Healthy, happy retirements out there. That's what we're looking for all you folks out there. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to Dillard Financial Solutions. All that information for you right here on the screen. Mike, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being on, and we'll see you next time right here on Fed Talk.